right, you guys ready for a Dungeons and Dragons story? I love Dungeons and Dragons. I didn't end up playing it till I was like in my 20s. When was the first time I played it? I think the first time I legitimately played Dungeons and Dragons, I was 27. I think that's correct. I believe, yes. 27. The first time I actually sat down to play it on the board. There was a couple times I'd create a character beforehand, but I never played it. And it was in college. And I had a table of friends and we were playing it. And it was a really good time. However, this story is from a different table. Some of the same friends were there. And there was 4 of us. We had our dungeon master, and then there was 3 of us on the campaign. And I am the kind of player that I don't think a lot of people like having at a table, because I love chaos. I just absolutely love chaos. When there is chaos happening, I am there for it. I am there to try to create as much chaos as possible, which is usually very, like, not great if you are trying to tell a story as a dungeon master. I have had a few dungeon masters get upset at me for the amount of chaos I have tried to cause. And those tables didn't work out so well. So, like I said, I am not the best player to have at a Dungeons and Dragons table. I just love the freedom of being able to do whatever it is you want. Now, to clarify, I'm not a murder hobo. I do not like playing that way. However, I will explain to you what level of chaos I like to ensue. So one of my favorite classes is a sorcerer or a wizard, but more specifically a sorcerer. And I love these classes so much because there is just so much potential in what you can do with the spells at your command. The only limitation is genuinely your imagination. So we were in this campaign, and we were sailing the high seas, and this campaign had been going on for a number of episodes, and we were going up to face this really large war, and our DM had designed this whole battle campaign between our ship and an enemy ship, and it was going to be this really big fight, like this really, really big fight that was going to take a really long time. And he had warned us about this ahead of time. And so we were like, okay, all right, we're getting ready. We're like, all right, we're prepared. And I had a portal wizard. He liked to pop in and out with portals. Now, I specifically was looking for a very specific type of portal that would allow objects to pass through the portal. So we get into this fight with this really big ship, and I sneak to the bottom of the ship, and I put down a portal, and my character manages to sneak off the ship and dive into the ocean. At this point, no one knows what's going on. They're completely oblivious to what is happening, and my character swims to the bottom of the ocean, and I put another portal down on the bottom of the ocean. Now, if any of you have taken a physics class and you know how much pressure is at the bottom of an ocean, you will know that there is a lot of pressure at the bottom of an ocean. And if there happened to be a hole at the bottom of the ocean where that pressure could, go somewhere, there would be a lot of pressure coming out of that hole. Well, sure enough, if you put a portal at the bottom of the ocean and you put the other portal in the middle of the ship, what will happen is a very interesting scenario. A geyser will shoot up through the ship, breaking the ship into multiple pieces as it floods the ship. And that was quickly the end of that battle. The ship sank in a very quick fashion, and our DM was left rather flabbergasted as to this very long sequence of fighting events he had planned had quickly been demolished in less than 10 minutes of the episode. That is the kind of chaos I like to ensue. And it was a fun time. It was a good campaign. Thankfully, we had actually, that DM in particular was one of the best DMs I'd ever had. He was someone who was very, very easygoing with ideas and creativity. If you had an idea and you wanted to try it out, he really liked to make it happen and just see where the idea would take you. And he was actually so chill and so easygoing about, like something that he had prepared a lot of time for just getting thrown out the window. And I think, I have to nod my head off to him. He was actually just a really fantastic individual and really played an amazing campaign. I enjoyed it thoroughly. I haven't played Dungeons and Dragons since. It's been a while, but man, it was a blast. And being able to have a portal wizard, my God, let me tell you, if you haven't played that character yet, it is totally worth your time. It is so much fun. You can use portals in so many different creative ways, and especially when it comes to Dungeons and Dragons. And I had a really good time with that. I had a really good time putting the pressure of an ocean inside of a galleon ship and just watching it explode from the amount of water coming through that portal. That was a real pleasure. So, yeah. That was one of my favorite D&D stories.